Hi guys, this is Eva from Bay Harbor Med Spa, and today I want to address an issue of stretch marks for black people or people with dark complexion who are bodybuilders who work out. And I speak about this because I got several phone calls where black people, black guys who work out, when you work out, your muscles expand and you get tears, you get stretch marks. And because I do treat stretch marks, I get phone calls from people and bodybuilders asking if I can help it and what I do, etc., etc. So I want to make this video and explain. And I would ask of all of you out there who are black, who are bodybuilders, who come across this video to share this video on your social media, because I think it's extremely important to understand that, first of all, a stretch mark for a white or black person doesn't matter. What is a stretch mark? A stretch mark is a tear in the skin. And when the skin tears, it sort of creates like a little indentation where it tore, right? So for white people, if you have a stretch mark, and only if it's totally fresh, like it just happened, you can do some treatments that I do in the clinic, where I actually stimulate, I irritate a stretch mark by a particular treatment and stimulate new hair, new regrowth of cells. And by regrowing the cell, it sort of fills up the stretch mark and looks better. Might not be perfect, but looks better. But here is the issue that I have with black skin. You cannot do this for black skin. There is no way you can treat black skin. There is no machine in the world that can do a treatment for stretch marks for black skin, and I will explain you why. And that is very important that people should know this, so that they shouldn't be sold some treatments that don't work, or people should have this misconception. So instead getting disappointed, you should know ahead, and prevention is much better than trying to correct something you actually cannot correct. So what happens is, if you have a stretch mark, what you would actually do, and the most common treatment is, if there's a stretch mark here, I will actually abrade it around until I create bleeding on the area. That means I irritated the skin enough to create bleeding, and now it has to heal. By healing, it will recreate build new cells, and it will fill up. But if I did that on black skin, do you know what would happen? I would treat the stretch mark, but at the same time, because it's actually in a way aggressive on the skin. So when I make this, I abrade it until it bleeds, the stretch mark, I stimulate melanin. And so when this bleeds, I not only allow new skin to regrow, but I also stimulated pigment, the melanin. And wherever I worked, now you will have a dark line, a discoloration. So you will have a stretch mark which is not going to go away. Maybe it will improve by 50%, but you will have a stretch mark and you will have a discoloration. So it will become dark and more visible. So you will be a very unhappy camper. This is why I say you cannot, not treat black or dark pigmented skin when you have stretch marks on the body, because it will stimulate more melanin and it will discolor the skin. And because stretch marks are not something that you can 100% eliminate, the only way you can eliminate a stretch mark is is cutting it off. So you are not going to cut off the skin on your muscle, on your forceps, biceps, whatever. It won't happen on your biceps. So what you are going to do is, you are going to try to prevent it. So how do you prevent stretch marks? You try to give it enough external moisture so that there is more elasticity so the skin can give its skin, and it has some elasticity. How do you do that? With coconut butter, coconut oil. This is my suggestion. Coconut butter and coconut oil has some natural ingredients in it that actually helps to allow the skin to expand a little more without tearing. This is what I suggest to women who know they are pregnant. Immediately start every day, put coconut butter on your tummy, on your tush, on your hips, wherever you're gaining weight, and do it every day. Well, that's the same suggestion I have for guys who are bodybuilders or anything. When you are expanding, you want to use twice a day coconut butter, coconut oil. And just for clarification, coconut butter and coconut oil is one and the same thing. The only thing that I caution you, you buy your coconut butter or coconut oil at a Costco or at your supermarket. You buy the one that you cook with. So it will be in the oil section. That's the pure coconut butter. Don't go and buy what's in the drugstore because that's garbage, trash. Forget about it. You get everything else and 10% coconut butter. So you want to use the pure coconut butter. And why is it called coconut butter or coconut oil? Coconut oil and coconut butter is one and the same thing. But the reason it's called either coconut butter or coconut oil is this. When you put the coconut butter, coconut oil in a container, and there's AC and it's colder, then it will become like wax. It will become harder. And you will see it being white. So it's usually in a glass or plastic container, and it's hard, it's white. But the moment you take a little bit out and you put in your hand, let's say, and you leave it in your hand, within 10 seconds it will melt because the body heat will melt it. If you take that same coconut butter, coconut oil, and you put it in the sun, let's say, for 5 minutes, you will see the whole thing will become transparent oil. It will melt inside. So coconut butter and coconut oil is one and the same thing. And you only want to buy the purest thing. I said Costco because I think it costs like $16 or $18 for a pound. So it's big. So that's sufficient. That's what you want to buy. In the supermarket, it's a little bit more expensive, but that's what you buy. Coconut butter, coconut oil that you eat, that you cook with, and you apply twice a day, morning and evening. If you are a bodybuilder, if you start working out, and particularly, you know, if you know that there are going to be body changes, like being, for instance, pregnant. But clarifying, black people, people with dark pigmented skin, if you get stretch marks, c'est la vie. It cannot be reversed, it cannot be treated, because the treatment will actually create it and make it look worse, because to treat it you have to abrade it, irritate it, and you will stimulate the pigment, the melanin in dark pigmented skin, and it will become now darker, and also you will see the stretch mark still at 50% less, but you will see it, so you'll be very unhappy. So prevention is much better than correction. So that's it, guys. This is why I ask you, please share, and forward this to you social media, social network, because it really makes a big difference when I speak to you and it makes sense to you that you give it out to people, because you don't know who you can affect. And I'm sure you can by posting it, because you found me because you were looking for something in that subject. But there's a lot of people that don't know to look and they don't find me, but if you put it, they will find it. Thank you. Bye. Adios. Ciao, bambinos. Ciao, ciao.